What the fuck? I want you guys to know that I was very offended as a woman by what you said in your last episode.
Was it calling Emma Goldman a satanic slut? Because there are a lot of early 20th century conservatives who would agree with me.
She advocated birth control, right?
Yep.
Pre-World War I? Yeah. Slut.
You can't use those words. Like, you can't use slut and bitch. That's not feminist. That's not how modern people act.
What if she wants me to call her a slut? Isn't it disrespectful just to ignore her wishes? That's like anti-feminist, right?
Are you talking about sex?
I believe he is.
You never call a girl a slut. Sex should be beautiful and full of eye contact.
Does eye contact count if you're using a mirror?
Great point.
You know nothing about women. When was the last time you even had sex you didn't have to pay for?
Doesn't matter.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's like 7 million women in New York City. Why don't we just take it to the streets?
To the streets!
I'm wearing your glasses to hopefully illustrate a point about the sexes being equal. What does feminism mean? Like, what is that supposed to mean?
I think feminism just means just like women having similar
Self-pride.
rights. Like, it's just self-pride. I think that a lot of people get mixed up in like it needing to be a thing. I feel like that about racism too. Like, it needs to be like noticed, it needs to be talked about, but ultimately it's just like we just all need to be equal and all just need to live. It doesn't need to be like a big deal. If you want to say bitch, you can say bitch, just like I can call you a Jack.
Well, I think it means, being aware of women's place in society, whether or not that's changing, and kind of, contextualizing it in the history of sort of, patriarchal culture.
Kind of like dates itself, the term feminism. I think we need something
Sounds like 1970s.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a disco era term.
Yeah.
I think that it is too bad that feminism seems antiquated, because I don't think that we're done. I think that there are still lots of issues that are feminist issues that need to be taken on.
Like me using the word slut.
That's a good one. Yeah, totally.
My roommate, she said that the words bitch and slut weren't feminist. Do you guys, we're just kind of taking the temperature of the public. Do you guys have any feelings about those words?
What do you mean by weren't feminist?
Yeah, weren't feminist.
I believe that both of those words are offensive words, so it's probably best not to use them.
Yes. Okay. So I think that slut is bad, but bitch is good. And so basically you get called a bitch when you do good things, like be assertive and ask for what you want. So I'm fine with being called a bitch. Slut, I think, is more offensive because it has negative connotations for something that is inherently neutral, like having multiple sexual partners in this day and age, especially if you're being like safe or responsible, is not inherently bad.
I mean, I think generally, yes, they're pretty offensive, but I think it also depends on kind of the context and how they're being used.
Exactly. Like if I say you're a bitch, that's a lot worse than saying you're my bitch.
In a sexual context, would that ever be appropriate in an aggressive sexual situation?
No, never.
It depends if it's derogatory.
It depends on who's saying it
no.
and how they're saying it. Because we mess around with friends.
I'm gonna have to go back and reevaluate my entire life.
But it's a lot worse to say like, oh, look at that, horrible slut, as opposed to saying, you're my slut.
So you said multiple sexual partners. Did you mean at the same time? So Ariel Levy, she's got this book where she talks about like this certain style of feminism, where there are these women that like think that if they can like get on a stripper pole and like tempt men, that's empowering. How do you feel about that?
Well, we like to think of it as more like a positive, like complimentary thing. Like, oh wow, she's such a slut. Like, good for her. Like, who cares what society judges her from? Look at that slut go.
So feminists are like girls that paint with their period blood, right?
Who was the last girl you called a slut?
I think I probably called someone a slut in like middle school or something like that.
Have you guys called your friends sluts?
Yeah. No, but like
not
kidding
really
around. But I
yeah.
mean like kidding around. But I mean it depends on how you use it.
So you've never had like a friendly boyfriend call you slut, like, hey slut?
No.
Like,
Absolutely not.
It just all stems in having like confidence in yourself. If you have confidence in yourself as a woman, you really don't feel the need to prove to anybody that you're sexy. I don't have to put on like a 10-inch pair of heels and the tightest dress I own. I just kind of go out and I know, like, this is me. You know what I mean? You just have confidence in yourself.